Ah yes, the SEC, the conference whose fans love to take credit for other teams in the league's success. And there has never been a year where every loyal SEC fan has gathered round in a down-home Southern circle jerk than this year, where two SEC teams square off in a championship game probably neither one of them deserve to be in. Oh, this is just the start, SEC fans. Get ready to be triggered. Before I get in this, I want to thank FanDuel for allowing me. As this video sadly completes my triggering series, let's go over the rules one more time. Each team gets 3 to 4 jabs. Since I don't have all day to throw your pathetic teams under the bus, don't get angry if I don't give it to your team hard enough. That's what the comments are for. Okay then, let's get on with our Southern Pig Roast. We're going big with the Florida Gators first. I'm surprised you took time away from your Tebow shrine to come watch this video, but his salty tears ought to comfort you. Good old Urban Meyer being good old Urban Meyer, leaving you high and dry like a dead prostitute in the desert. But not before faking a heart attack as his excuse. The name Frank Sanders ought to trigger you. This play ruined your national championship hopes just like the Tigers did to you before on this field goal. And 2009 was your last hurrah until you lost to Alabama and have been absolute shit since. And don't forget 2 of your players blocking each other. Kentucky. Why do you play football in the SEC? You're like that nice break teams get before they have to play the real teams in the league. Legit, your last 10-win season was in 1977, and you have lost 4 straight bowl games, including one to the cast of Glee, aka Northwestern. Also, Bear Bryant left you, and don't forget about the Bluegrass Miracle. Lolcopter. Ole Miss. Why did you hire Houston Nutt? Did you not know this dude was a fraud? The last time you won the SEC was literally over 50 years ago. In 2014, you finally beat Alabama and it looked like you had a contender, vaulting to number 3 in the rankings. And then you returned to form draft day. Ah, Vandy, the Wake Forest of the SEC. James Franklin made you somewhat relevant with a win in the DADV Bowl in 2013. Then he bolted for Penn State faster than angry fans got Greg Schiano fired in Tennessee. Oh snap, it's not even UT's turn and they're getting hate. Now for devastating moments, I really couldn't find one for the Commodores, which in and of itself should be triggering since your nihilistic existence in the SEC doesn't make for good comedy.
Yeah, he believes in nothing.
He believes in nothing, Lebowski, nothing.
And your best player of all time is the douchebag of all douches. Fitting there was a rape case at your school too. Really, Vandy? Isn't that type of behavior reserved for lacrosse players and Baylor? Arkansas. You fired Lou Holtz, but kept the nut for 10 years. When have you ever been in the hunt for a national championship? Ooh, that should hurt. And of course, good old Bobby Petrino, who got into a motorcycle accident after getting a little too ballsy with his mistress hanging on the back of him and ended up in a neck brace like a 2-bit ambulance chaser. Initially, he said he was alone until, I don't know, maybe she came out of a ditch and asked for some assistance. It was also discovered that Slick Bobby had gotten his girlfriend a job and secretly paid her 20 large, which I mean, that's probably what the guy has to dish out to get laid. Oh, and on the field, Alabama beat you 52-0 in back-to-back years. LSU, wow, we're putting the Tigers in here early. How did letting Les Miles go turn out for you? I mean, a guy who won a national championship, had an all-time winning percentage of 770, and absolutely loved being in Baton Rouge, just tossed to the curb like a free couch. Of course, if we're gonna talk about coaches leaving you, you had the Oracle in your possession, and then he took off for the NFL only to come back to one of your most hated rivals. You can win the ship without winning your conference. That L should trigger you. Bullshit. Mississippi State, the last time you won an SEC championship, Hitler was occupying France. How about Jack Sherrill having a bull castrated in front of the team as a motivational tactic in 1992? Holy fuck. And Alabama absolutely owns you too. You are 1880-3 all time against them. Tennessee. I alluded to this earlier. You hired Greg Schiano, but your delusional fans rioted via social justice and got him fired, leaving you in search of a coach and a new athletic director, which is going to set back an already underperforming program even further down the line. Really, you have every right to voice your opinions as fans, but now you see what happens when you don't stick to your guns and let the inmates run the assembly. Had 2 extra guys on the field, then the Riddler, did this. And what about Lane Kiffin walking out on you like an NFL player that found out his side chick is pregnant? Geez, the administration there is so tone deaf they think Britney Spears can actually sing. Texas A&M, another team Paul Bryant left in the wind, though if you've ever been to Junction, Texas, you really can't blame the Bear for taking off. You had Cash Money Manziel win one game over Alabama, and that's about it. He really didn't deserve the Heisman that year, but they also didn't have anyone else to give it to. In the rematch, which television networks likely paid off the investigation committee so that Johnny Football could still play, you got smoked by Alabama. And in the ultimate revenge, the next year, Alabama beat you 59-0, and an ass whipping so bad you couldn't sit down for a week. Missouri, before Gary Pinkel got there and he figured out how to win, you had a brutal 30-year stretch from 1986 to 2006 where you suffered sub-500 season after sub-500 season, and you lost to second-tier Troy State in 2004. In 2007, you had a trip to the ship lined up, but Oklahoma had other plans, and why couldn't Matty Mock ever stay on the field for you guys? Oh yeah, drugs. South Carolina, the way you sent off Lou Holtz with a classless brawl, just leaving you out there to dry like chili peppers in the sun after he had finally made you relevant, but not before Florida smoked you 56-6 in 2008. And now retread Willie Muschamp has brought his winning ways from Florida on over. Let's see how long that lasts. Now, I'm going to do Auburn in advance of this year's SEC Bowl participants. I am an Auburn fan. My dad and my brother went there, so this is going to be hard for me, but as I state, it has to be done, and Auburn fans and myself deserve this level of triggering. I'm still not over the loss to FSU. I still won't admit that the game happened. From not reading the fake punt to the kick return to scoring too early to the final drive, it all hurts. It hurts bad. Especially this play that really set everything up. We came so far to let a guy who can barely speak English do this to us.
I still love that man to the day. He left for Auburn for the job of his dreams, and Coach Fisher set me down.
In 1993, we go undefeated. However, the Tigers were on probation for some egregious rules violations that prevented them from having a postseason. In 2004, a stacked squad with future NFL stars got absolutely raw-dogged out of a chance to the ship because back then the SEC conference hadn't developed the reputation it has today. Of course, we love to sweep the whole Cam fiasco under the rug, but between you and me and a wall, I don't care. And let's wrap it up here. Flynn to Bird, an earthquake, Van Tiffin, and let me go grab a drink before I write the last segment. Alabama. Alabama, Alabama. Congrats on being gifted your 5th championship in 9 years. I'm sure you're on the high of winning again. However, eventually that will fade, and I'm here to throw some shade on your victory dance. Just remember these wonderful plays. Punt, Bama, punt. The Price era, you lost to Utah, and Albert Means. Lastly, after your big win, here is one of your linemen proposing to his sister after the game. I can't take credit for that joke. At Sports Talk Joe was the first one that I saw do it, and damn, that was good. But seriously, Alabama, you can't gloat on this win. We all know who the real champions are. And now, Alabama and the rest of the viewers, grab your popcorn. Georgia gets to go last. Instead of the standard format for triggering, we're going to do something different here. An open letter to the Georgia Bulldogs by 5 Points Vids. Dear Georgia, good day. I am writing to inform you that you have now completed one of the biggest choke jobs in sports history, only rivaled by your in-state compatriots. Due to your lack of second-half offensive felon hearing his verdict. Oh, I could bring up such things in the past like in 2005, blowing it in back-to-back weeks to Florida and Auburn, losing to Alabama in the 2012 SEC championship game, and the 2014 blown squib kick to Georgia Tech, and losing to Tennessee in 2016 because of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. But none of that really compares to the spicy chorizo of failure you served up last night. Because of you, all of the followers of college football have to endure a painful offseason in which Bama fans run their fat mouths on social media ad nauseum until we want to gouge our eyeballs out with soldering irons. Because of you, instead of being able to rip Bama fans a new asshole so wide an outdoor furniture set could have fit in there, now I have to read Roll Tide, Roll comment after comment down below. When you had a 20-7 third quarter lead, a rare glimpse of forgiveness came over me. Maybe I will give the dogs a pass and not mention this play. But no, you brought this upon yourself. You have now made your bed. Sleep in it. Here, you pathetic losers. Fuck you. Sincerely, 5 Points Vids. Well, I hope the wait was worth it. Don't forget to download the FanDuel app from the link below and use my code Touchdown87 and get a free entry into the NFL Sunday Millions contest with your first deposit. And definitely don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. And as always, I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.
Really know what's going on, so why don't you tell me?
This is the dogs! It's the Sanford, baby! This is